When we talk RPG box art on the SNES, we have the crap, the good, the sucky and the awesome. Some are lame, while others are lame as well. And there are a bunch of other games that... yeah, never mind. Like they say, never judge a game by its cover. Well, screw that. Today we are. The North American cover art of Chrono Trigger is great. Meryl just casted Fire Sword, while Frog assists Chrono to leap up and behead the monster that's doing everything in its power to block their path of changing the space-time continuum. Akira Toriyama just knows how to show a trip attack in action, even if it's just concept art. Because this attack is called Arc Impulse, with Meryl casting ice instead. But is this cover better than the Japanese version? Here you see the whole party with all their personalities shining through, ready to embark on an adventure. If I were in a game store, I will definitely check out this box to see what it's about. Nonetheless, if I had to decide between one or the other, I will buy the North American version, because it has a let's go on an adventure and F 'em up feel. And you know what's better? Breath of Fire. Here, Conan the Barbarian is ready to grab his enemy by the throat and slaughter the forces of evil. In the second game he does it again, ready to kill more in his berserker rage, while his team is cheering him on in the far back. The Japanese covers of both games were illustrated by Tatsuya Yoshikawa. Here the team is displayed in a dynamic pose, while in the second Ryu is drawn in human form, similar to his sprite art. In the first installment, he's in his dragon form, which looks like a parasitic worm that sneaks and crawls up all the way into your behind. But maybe that's just me. Okay, let's check out some of the bigger games like Final Fantasy IV. The Japanese cover art is quite decent. You see the party led by a chibi paladin marching together with his party like a boss. And while I don't think it's anything special, you instantly recognize the RPG elements in it. In case of the US, it looks lame and doesn't have the correct number, but okay, whatever. The Final Fantasy V cover is pretty cool. It looks like a wanderer going with his travel companion on an adventure in a forbidden land where he has to defeat giant dragons to save his beloved from death. By far, it's already a step up compared to the fourth installment. And that means it's going in the right direction because both pale compared to Final Fantasy VI. It looks epic. Here's Takamino's full art, shows Terra on a major tech armor, overlooking some sort of steam-driven imperial capital. It has great composition and a luxurious aesthetic that you can display on the shelf. In case of the US, well, at least we got a Moogle on the box. But the icing on the cake is the game that we all know and love. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. A hero with a sword on a rock who... I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Rafiki from The Lion King, only that scene was actually cool. In case of Japan, they didn't do much better with the chibi style, but it has a bit more appeal if you're into that kind of stuff. Yeah, truth to be told, the game sucks, so the cover did represent what to expect. About this, what actually makes an SNES RPG cover good? Is a random, cool looking hero enough to take you to the counter and buy it? Well, to me as an avid consumer of the genre, two basic elements are essential. It needs to spark interest and catch the right audience. To elaborate, first it needs to get a good gist of what it's about. In this case, of course, as an RPG, we want to know what type and style of characters we're going to invest our time in. This is one thing almost all the covers do right. The second element a good cover needs is to convey its main emotion of what you think the game's main focus is about. With RPGs you think about story, action, swords and good versus evil. Despite so, chances are that you and I have played different types of RPGs, but they are still the same genre. In other words, I'm hinting towards the sub-genre. When I check out games I never played, I think most of the covers look cool and get the RPG thing right. However, for the sub-genre, the focus point of the next example might explain it the best. Seed of Mana is about restoring the mana back to the world by obtaining the 8 mana seeds. The title and the cover art, drawn by Hiro Sono, is spot on. It looks and feels that this game has a story to tell about something mysterious and otherworldly. In case of Secret of Evermore, there's a giant demonic insect trying to eat and rip apart the hero and his trusted four-legged friend. this also looks mysterious, as if this guy is the gatekeeper to the land of Evermore. At least that will be my first guess. If I were in the store and had to make a choice, I would guess Secret of Evermore puts more emphasis on the action-oriented aspect, while Secret of Mana more on the mystery side of the story. When we check out Seiken Densetsu 3, Secret of Mana's younger brother, it has a similar cover art. In this case, it's still mysterious. Here, we see 6 heroes celebrating that they finally reached the Mana Tree on a remote land far away from home. But as the team has expanded compared to its predecessor, this image to me has more of an adventure vibe to it. However, they did make a final version of this cover, illustrated by Nobutaro Yuki. Here we see the whole party with their personality and jobs getting ready for its venture to save all the Mana Stones together with you. To me, this illustration checks all the boxes of good cover art. That said, there is a different way of showing this as well, as seen in Final Fantasy's arch rival, Dragon Quest. And bam, I don't care if you like the series or not. While I'm personally not a traditional fan myself, Akira Toriyama did an excellent job on the covers. They all show the adventure, cool heroes and a dragon. In Dragon Quest IV we see the heroine leaping out at, I think, the bad guy, while a dragon is in the rear. In 5 we see Gohan ready to embark on his journey with a dragon, a saber-toothed tiger, a blonde chick at his side, and a freaking slime near his feet. In Dragon Quest VI we see the hero with his team ready to go. And you know what's cool about this one? Master Roshi's evil brother is lurking in the background. Yeah, it's no wonder that scraps of artists mentioned that they were intimidated of Akira Toriyama's works. He knows how to make illustrations come to life. By the way, another scratch of game you may or may not have heard about is Bahamut Lagoon. While I think the cover art is cool, and has this white aesthetic like the other SNES scratch of games, I can imagine that if you never played the game, you wouldn't guess it's an epic strategy RPG involving a rebelling group that takes up arms against one overruling empire. Only that it has dragons, which you need to raise and breed. Okay, remember this crap? This is how you do it. Indeed, Ys 4 has great cover art in the Japanese version. And the US knew how to throw it all out of the window. In a general sense, I don't think this 80s poster art is wrong or bad. However, they should have just stick with the Japanese one, and not a Luke Skywalker wannabe. And while Ys 5 cover art and the re-release of the third game were nothing special, the Genesis version was. Here, Adel turned into a 40-year-old something with a midlife crisis, whacking away at insects in his fantasy world. That's pretty badass. Maybe we will do the same with VR in the upcoming decade. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What about Earthbound? What can I say? Modern art of video game box art? I'm pretty indifferent on this. The game is unique, the covers are as well. Even the modern covers have this interesting aesthetic, setting itself apart like the gameplay does. Actually, many SNES RPGs show some sort of title-only cover, which can be pretty engaging because you have to pick it up and check the backside to see what's going on. Nonetheless, if you have a big series like Final Fantasy, it can be really powerful. But in some games, I think some sort of image is the best approach. Even if it's just a bit fake, it will differentiate itself from the many SNES games with captivating illustrations. Just to remind you, in the 90s, SNES games were placed on shelves that looked like this. There were just a few biased reviews kids and teens had to base their choices on, overloaded by a huge amount of impressions in the gaming section. One of my personal favorite box art on this list is Terranigma, where a traveler from a forgotten realm is staring at the blue marble known as Earth. To me, it has the same mysterious vibe like the Secret of Mana cover. We all know that Japan and the West have different views on how to sell a cover to their respectful markets. This has a lot to do with their way of storytelling, social norm, art interests, and all that kind of stuff. This aside, what do you think about Ultima, the False Prophet? In the US, you see a hero fight a demon in front of a stone gate. There's action, tension, and story. In Japan, you see the paladin hero stomping the demon. Here, there's drama and mystery. I mean, is he the false prophet? I have no clue, but damn, that's very powerful to be honest. Thus, what about the rest of all the Super Nintendo RPGs? Some of them look exciting, some of them look enthralling, some of them look, I have no clue what's going on. The main question is, which cover art is your favorite? It doesn't necessarily have to be in the SNES era or an RPG, because there are so many cool ones out there. I fancy light novel author GP Foes. And I must admit, it was crazy fun to analyze cover art, especially the ones with a mystery element in them, and the games that show some sort of story arc in their illustrations. Anyways, I learned a lot of new things, and I hope you did too.